So I have two questions for you then,
Yeah.
because that special period of time you're talking about
In terms of junior
in
tennis.
terms of junior tennis in Antigua,
Mm.
right? One, why do you think, what do you think made it so back then? And two, nobody, because we're talking about Jody on the Pro Tour, is the only Antiguan I've ever heard of on the Pro Tour.
Well, we've actually had Antigans make it to the US Open and get into the Phil Williamson.
Okay.
Yeah, he's made it to what, the fourth round of the US Open.
So that's three questions now, right?
Yeah.
So,
and not just him as well, others.
so we're gonna come back to the Antigans that made it.
Yeah.
So first, why do you think it was so? Why do you think that was such a special period?
I think looking back, you can't help but think about coaching. God, looking back on some of the coaching, I was just speaking about. I was on a hike yesterday, and we were talking. I was speaking to Isoki about this, Isoki Perry, who I mentioned earlier, and we were speaking about the coaching that we got as juniors, and just looking back on it, just how good it was. You know what I mean? You had these different coaches at different places. You had a Larry Michael at Vikings. You had a Elijah Armstrong in particular at Jolly Beach, who I managed to work with, even though I didn't start playing in his tennis camp or academy or whatever. I started with Larry Michael. He was the national coach a lot of the time.
What's that name?
Elijah Armstrong.
So, and I don't know if it's Elijah, but once again, believe it or not, I played some college tennis myself,
right.
in the Virgin Islands.
Right.
I played for the University of the Virgin Islands. I made the team about 3 years, right?
Right.
But I got my ass handed to me in Puerto Rico.
Oh wow!
Every
Yeah,
year.
those players are proper.
Right? But we had a coach from St. Thomas. First we had a coach, Coach Ray. Then we had a coach from St. Thomas. I think his name was Gregory or Georges or something with a G. Right? Tall man.
Dark?
Dark.
Very dark. Not really.
I don't remember his very,
Right.
but he is dark.
Right.
So again, he had the name Antigua and he called one of them same coaches' names. It's a popular one, but I can't, I wasn't in the...
Right, in the know, I guess, at the time.
So,
I think it must be Eli.
he's saying that the guy came down to a tournament, whether it was British, it was in the BVI or Virgin Islands, and he say, everybody's talking about this guy. This man does a breeze through the tournament, bang everybody. So he said he has a match and he has the guy the next day. So he sees the guy to come out, came to watch him warm up. So when he saw him, he said he started to knock the ball and him awkward, he knocked one ball, so he hit one ball, so.
Right.
And he said the man watch for a little bit and then he get up and he leaves and he says, yeah, I'm gonna bang you tomorrow. And he said, whoever the coach was, don't know the name, he said he go party because he figured he had an easy match the next day. And he beat him.
So,
That's a little story, but say all that to say, the Antiguan names were, I remembered around the region from that same period.
It felt that way at the time. You know, we'd go on tour and it must be said we were actually quite a popular set of players on tour. You know, we had players and people from other islands rooting us on against their own. You know what I mean? These are things that I've witnessed as a young tennis player in these tournaments. So, yeah, I mean, just to go back to your question about why coaching, man, it was at the time we were just blessed with really good coaching. I really look back on it and I see how structured it was. Not only just coaching about tennis, Carl, it was a lot of coaching about life. Like I said, Larry Michael had quite a profound effect on me, you know, mentally, how to handle pressure situations, you know, staying calm, slowing things down, controlling your breathing. These are all things that was being drummed into you at a young age.
So these coaches that we had, these crop of coaches we had, these were people that what? They played collegiate tennis, they just homegrown.
Even John McGinley as well, yeah. Like John McGinley, you know, he was a very good player. Larry Michael, collegiate, played on a little on the tour in the States and came back to be a coach. You know, really came back and had a philosophy about the game which he really imparted upon his players. And that philosophy, number one, was topspin. You know, it was something that he was a massive advocate of. You know, you had to hit the ball with a lot of topspin. It gave you the best chance.